Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to a new video. I don't know when I'm releasing this. I've got so much on at the moment. I haven't even done my background. I've got tinsel that's just hung up there. I'm like, I don't know what, I've got to sort this out. Another story from that. I'm just about to go to my grandparents, work, yeah, and other videos that I've got to make. I feel this banquet event based details has been kind of thrusted at the wrong time, because effectively it's on the first day lit a dumpster fire, and that's Kabam. What they want is like nobody covering it and talking about some of the stuff with us. But I wanted to do a video and kind of get this out to you, and I will be doing a guide spreadsheet, as I keep saying. I keep repeating myself, but it just keeps trying to find the time to do it once I'm back from my grandparents, and then 2 weeks to the event launches. I've got a playlist which will be filled up. I apologize to everybody that I'm going to be doing a lot more banquet event based content, but I'm trying to give you as much information and data and news and guides as possible before the event kicks off. But I apologize in advance if it's going to feel it's like a lot of this stuff. Don't worry, it will stop. Blame Kabam because it decided to put out an event based information, and I'm not going to go silent for about 2 weeks before it goes live on that particular subject. So apologies, but we've got a playlist. This will have all the information, and it will be built out over the next 2 weeks, I want to say, before the event goes live. So yes, look out for that. Of course, I wanted to do a video of like a lot of the... Look, I reacted to the event information. I think like a lot of people, that it wasn't on the same standard as what you'd expect from the rewards itself. Now, what's the deal with that? Are we right? Are we wrong to have an opinion on it not being good? In previous years, it's felt different, and the reason it's felt different is because of metas. In this last year, and as I'm going to point out, Kabam have shot themselves in the foot. They point out the community for setting expectations too high. The problem with Kabam is they have just released the Valiant title. They have released Necropolis. They have put in rank 3 7-star materials. They have put tier 4 alphas into the game in some sort of shape or form. So what they do is they have already set an not incorrect, but they've set their own expectations for what you should see from meta rewards. It'd be really weird to just drop a little bit, like, feather dust, some dust. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then go like, oh no, you're expecting more of that. No, you're not getting any of that. Well, why did you put it in then? Why didn't you drip feed it like you've done in previous times? Instead, it's like, now you got to do Necropolis. Yeah, but what about more rank 3 7-star materials? Because now there's people that are Valiant. Yeah, but it's a bit of a new title, so we don't want to give you too much. Then, it's just quite weird, because it's been so much of a kind of like, here's Cyber Weekend, here's Valiant-based deals in here, here's the Banquet Event, here's maybe not Valiant-based stuff, here's a Valiant-based Christmas present, but you don't get it. Look, there's a lot of stuff to take home, and of course the GBC is where to go to get a lot of the meta stuff. But look, I've kind of gone off on a tangent on something. If you want to check out my full good and bad from this particular event, check out the link check out the description where I've done the write-up and the notes I'm going to be referring to. But let's really get into the video, because I've really kind of waffled on a bit too much with this, and I want to give you some facts. So here's some facts right here. This is the 2022 Banquet Event Milestones for solo, and we'll do Alliance in a minute, versus 2023. In 2022, you got 35k points for free, and it was 4,000 points per GBC. It then would cost you 5,100 units to get to the final milestone for 15 milestones. In comparison to 2023, it's 26k points for free, 2,800 points per GBC, which is that's quite a bit actually, 1,200 less points per GBC, which Kabam haven't justified just yet on that. That's weird. And 9,900 units to get all milestones. And the difference is with this is that there's 5 more milestones to this particular event. So look, there's some positive. There's one positive right there, in that you get 5 extra milestones. And of course, people will be screaming out, "Well, meta rewards, Rich, meta." I agree. Like that's really it. It's meta rewards. Now let's quickly look back on last year and go, right, well, if it's a case to reach the final milestone, it's 5,100 units to reach, whatever the last point was. And it's like, okay, so for example, let's say that you are 100,000, take, actually no, let's do it like this, 5,100 units, but to be honest, that doesn't really kind of like make much sense with it, because I think it's like, if you take 17 times 300, that's, yeah, so 17 times 300, so it's 17 crystals. So you do 17 times 4,000, gets you 68,000 points. 68,000 points plus the plus the 35,000 points equals 103. So yeah, that kind of like, that's how it works right there. That gets you the final milestone and gets you all of this stuff right here. Now, the interesting thing is, when I did the test of this, because I've literally recorded this video several times, I'm pretty certain, so we're going to try it now, when it comes to the 2023 side of things, the interesting thing of this is you technically get all of the same things, with a couple of exceptions. Okay, so that's what you got there under that scenario. Different scenario now, because it's saying, okay, 5,100 units, but less points. So 17 GBCs times 2,800 is 47,600. We plus the 26,000 that we get from the free points, and we get to 73,600. The weird thing about it is, you actually get all of the same or similar stuff than you picked up last year. So that will take you down to about there. You pick up the tier 6 basic same from last year. You get the tier 3 alpha from last year. You get the tier 5 class catalyst, the 6-star awakening gem, and all of the other stuff right there. So, and as I said, this is why we're looking at it from a balanced point of view, in that, yes, it's less points, but the weird thing about it is it's the same or similar than it was last year. The problem is, and again, what we're going to return back to is this particular point I mentioned a moment ago. Meta rewards. Where they align with you. And that, again, is going to be the issue with this. So again, going back to the similar situation when it comes to alliance-based stuff. And it, again, is a similar thing, a similar situation, in that the milestones are similar. So 2022 is on the left and 2023 is on the right. For 2022, there are 15 milestones. On the right, there is 16 milestones. Of course, the threshold of getting the points is not exactly the same. And this is the thing, isn't it? Like, I think Kabam, the way they kind of explain, they haven't explained it very well. Actually, they explained it at all. I think Kabam would have done themselves a lot of favors if they explained something that I've just explained, that for the same amount of unit investment, you can get exactly the same. But you might be saying, well, Rich, that's not my gripe with all of this. And the same thing with me. That's not my issue with it. My particular issue is the types of rewards against where I am personally and where I'm up to in the game at the moment, and my personal interest of the matter. So I'm going to go over a few kind of like, as I said, more positives and negatives with this one, which I'm going to refer to my notes, which are in the description. Let's get this pretty much enlarged because I want to talk about some stuff a bit more. So my particular issue with this one is that where the RNG is. My particular preference is to shoot for things that are in the Greater Banquet Crystal, which don't have a guarantee. So my issue is with Tier 4 Alpha. Not having Tier 4 Alpha in... where is it? I'm pretty certain it was in there. I'll assume it is. I'm just kind of like scrolling past it. There it is. So Tier 4 Alpha, like if you get it 10 times, you got 1. Like that's not too bad. But you only got 23 free attempts without having to kind of like, it means you have to like sink a load of kind of units into it, which I don't like. I don't think that's very good, especially because it in some ways breaks the promise that Kabam laid out about allowing whales to access certain things before players that work for them. So look, and then maybe saying, wow, Necropolis. But yeah, but you go back on your word when you do something like this. In the rank up materials, the ranks of the solos, there is again the rank 2 to 3 gems, which again doesn't really kind of align to me. It's too much of like, it's meta, but it's like it's super whaley meta to go and get. There's also some questionable rewards in the alliance-based side of things. Like, the thing that I want to point out as well in the alliance solo is Kabam have removed Primordial Dust from the side quest, and they've kind of said, like, okay, well, what we're going to do is we've now added this into the alliance-based stuff. Like, did they need to do that? Could that just be in the side quest, and you could have filled out those other 2 segments with giving some 7-star shards, giving people a choice, or some Titan Crystal shards. But instead, they're kind of sandwiched into some kind of like meta RNG with the Greater Banquet Crystal. Sorry, I'm reading my notes off here. Yeah, and that's something I don't like about it. And yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Of kind of like introducing the Valiant. It's okay. First thing, units. Kabam are basically saying, like, look, you're gonna have to use a lot more units to get further down the line. We've talked about 5,100, and that's great. It's great that, you know, you could get to the solo milestones that you had last year. But here's the thing, like, things move on. The game moves on. And 7-star shards, 7-star Guardians Crystal, and some of the stuff that's kind of like down the bottom here is either not in the meta or is very far away. Like I said, I don't want to spend 10,000 units on this event. I might spend now, I'll probably do about 10 GBCs to make kind of like some content at, see what I get, and also get me further down the line. But that's going to be it. I probably will stop and just go, no, this was fun, and that's great to have a bit of fun, and that's what I wanted from the Banquet event, is to have a bit of fun. So take this event as you see fit with it, and kind of like don't read too much into it if you are going to feel like you're stung by having to invest a lot further with units. So I'm definitely not doing nearly 10k units to get right to the very end, unless I feel completely desperate to kind of push towards that 7-star gifted crystal. I'll probably just invest it into Necropolis and get that road to the crypt stuff for free at the end of it, feeling that I've been vindicated. But we'll have to see. I don't know. Like, maybe I'll go back on that. Maybe I'll farm some units in that time. And maybe people will do that. If I can farm 9,900 units, I've got enough units still kind of like ticking over right now without even popping my fabulous condomy crystals. So everything is possible. But positives. Have I got any more positives on this one? I think that's really it. I think I like the way that you can access, especially from an alliance perspective, at a lower level. Like, you know, the minimum requirements to get on the ladder is a lot less than it was last time. You can see, no, it could be, no, yeah, they are a little bit less. But the problem is, and then it's like, it's undermined because the Banquet Crystal only gives 2,800. So Kabam are funny, aren't they? Kabam are interesting. But look, this is the way I want to, and I want to end this video on this particular point, okay? And I feel that what Kabam have done is they've set their own unrealistic expectations, because when you put out a new title, like Valiant, when you put out a rank 3 7-star opportunity for players, when you inflate the game with rank 3 7-star materials, it is a problem, because then you set the expectation too high, because you've put this stuff out. I want more of this. Well, you have to spend for it. What? Kabam said that you wouldn't have to spend a lot in order to access it. Oh, no, but we're doing this special event. It's different. How is it different? We put out meta stuff. Oh, we put it in... You can get the meta stuff. It's just in the GBC. So it's an RNG based thing. Because it's fun. Okay, well, I sort of get it's fun. But the problem we've got is... It does... A lot of the milestones don't really align to where a lot of players are at the moment. Well, we can't kind of like we can't please everyone. Again, Kabam, I would get the idea that you can't please everyone, but this is the thing, isn't it? This event is something that needs to kind of like evolve. Maybe we've talked about it before, that maybe it needs to evolve to a progression based thing. I don't know, but then that's the thing as well. What the Banquet Crystal has been, and what the gifting event was, right? This is it. Evolution. And maybe it's time, like, Kabam to kind of sit back and kind of like take stock of what the player base is saying, and also make decisions that are going to revolve around that fun element to the game, rather than looking at it from a super spendy one. It's just, I think that Kabam putting out the new titleage, Necropolis, Cyber Weekend, and the Banquet event, all with different types of meta approaches for the top end of spenders and free to play trying to get on the ladder, they've inadvertently created a weird situation, which, of course, we've seen is causing a little bit of frustration, a little bit of confusion. Still people enjoying it for a bit of fun, and that's what I would say to anybody is have a bit of fun. If you want to get involved with it, my tip for this, and I will be kind of covering this in a guide later on, is maybe see how you go for free. See what those 23 greater banquet crystals give out. See where they put you on the milestone ladder. Make a log of what those GBCs give out, and then make a decision whether or not it's actually viable or interesting to commit any more units to this particular event. Or farm some units from now to the start of next year for free and see what you get. And the same thing for spenders. If you're going to spend a little, see what it's like. If those GBCs are becoming unfair and you're not making gains on the ladder, you don't like what you're getting at the end of it when it comes to the milestones, then when the fun stops, stop. And that's the kind of the note and message I'm going to leave you with. That's been the video. Check out some other stuff on the screen. I'll see you in the next guide or other thing that I'm going to do. Cheers. Bye-bye.